Check it out, Casper!
Hey everyone, and thanks for tuning in. Casper here, and today you're looking at my face rather than some gameplay because there's going to be overlays over the majority of this video, and I thought it'd be better there for this than you to just see some crap gameplay for like 5 seconds that I just hastily recorded, basically. So today we're talking about the Tough Break update. It's just been announced, and it is very similar in both content and style as the Gunmetal update. What we've actually got is contracts, just like Gunmetal. They're very similar, but we've got a lot of weapon balance changes as well, and there's some very interesting ones that I can't wait to touch on. The contracts are very similar, as I said, to Gunmetal, but there's one cool difference is that they are going to get weapon-specific contracts now, so it could say, kill 10 or 20 people with the black box or whatever. But the good thing about that is if you don't have that weapon, you can actually loan it, and from what I can gather, this is completely free from the Valve store. So you can get this weapon for free from the Manco store, obviously, sorry, not the Valve store. You don't have to worry about already owning that weapon, and you can complete the contract, and you can keep that weapon until the very end of the campaign, which is going to last 3 months. Just like last time, there's 4 different collections. 2 of those collections you get from completing contracts. 2 of those collections you get from opening cases. They have added other types of weapon, not just primary weapons like we had last time. You can also get knives now, and grenade launchers in fact, so that's pretty cool if you play Demoman or Spy. And they also got wrenches if you play Engineer. The skins overall do look much better than the Gunmetal ones in my opinion. It looks like there's been a little bit more thought gone into them. They seem to have a bit more theme. They're not just random colours like last time. They actually seem to be sort of thought out patterns, which is obviously cool. As you might expect, the 2 free collections, or rather the collections you get from the campaign from completing contracts, aren't quite as cool as the other ones. And I'm going to go straight onto the ones that you get from opening cases. You've actually got cat-based skins now from the Pyroland cases. I don't know about you guys, but I love cats. So I know I'm going to spend so much money on this campaign getting cases, opening cases, but you know, it should be worth it if you get some cat-based guns. Of course, there will be a link in the description to the update page here, so you can browse through all the skins at your own leisure. We've also got 4 new maps coming to the game. There's Snowy Coast, which is Payload, Vanguard, which is Control Point, High Pass, which is King of the Hill, and Landfall, which is Capture the Flag. Now, these are all community maps, so well done to the community for making these. I've not played them myself, but I'm going to imagine that some of you guys have, so, I mean, they're obviously good if they've been picked to be put into the game as official maps, and I can't wait to try them. There's 3 new taunts, and these were actually leaked recently because Valve uploaded them to a playlist as unlisted on YouTube, and you can see those if you look in the playlist. So, quite a lot of you probably have already seen these, especially if you browse Reddit. But the links to these again will be in the description, so you can check them out. Moving on to the meat and potatoes of this update. For me, the best updates aren't normally the content ones, they're normally the fixing the broken game ones. So some of these are quite interesting. One of the biggest one affects all classes, all weapons. It says, base weapon switch speed changed from 0.7 seconds to 0.5 seconds. So while those numbers might not sound too far apart from one another, you will notice this. I can guarantee you're going to notice this. And it's quite random. I don't know why they've done it, to be perfectly honest. I've never noticed any problems with weapon switch speed. But hey, you know, we don't know how it's going to feel until we actually play with it. The next one that I'm sure a lot of you are going to be quite happy about is that they have nerfed the reserve shooter. It's got slightly different weapon switch attributes now, and it only affects it when you're switching to and from the reserve shooter. So if you're switching from your primary straight to your melee, holding the reserve shooter will have no effect. Also, the Hafsatoichi, or however it's pronounced, has had a slight nerf, but one cool thing is that you can now switch off it if you pull it out and don't kill anyone, but you do take 50 damage, which is a better mechanic in my personal opinion. Here is an absolutely ridiculous buff. Valve seem to not understand how easy Pyro is. Pyros like to collect rainbows. Extinguishing a teammate will now return 20 health to the Pyro? What an unnecessary change. Do you even play your own game? Probably a good thing here, consecutive air blasts will no longer prevent enemies from air strafing. Have you ever been on Upward and someone's trying to blow you off the edge and you're like, I know I can get back, but because they air blast you again, like, it just messes up your movement. That's not going to happen anymore. So in theory, I think this is a good thing. I mean, it will nerf Pyro, definitely. But I think it's always been something that Pyro's had an unfair advantage on. So, good one there. They have buffed the default flamethrower. Damage fall off over distance has been decreased, resulting in higher damage at range. Why? No need for it. They have nerfed the degreaser. They've fiddled the switch time similar to the reserve shooter. So you switch to and from at... I'm not sure if these are better rates. I think it might be something that you've got to actually play with to really sense. But basically, if you switch from your secondary to your melee, it's not going to be faster now just because you're holding the degreaser. It's removed the damage penalty. That's a buff. They've increased their air blast cost by 25%. No need for it. Increased afterburn penalty from 25% to 66%. That's not as much of a big deal because if you're using the degreaser the way it's meant to be used, then you're not going to have people afterburn for too long anyway. I don't want to experience that 25% extra air blast cost because, you know, that's the way you use the degreaser. You light them on fire, you quickly burst them away, and you switch to your melee or your flare. You can still switch, but if you're running out of ammo more quickly on your degreaser, then you're not going to be able to get on big chain kills. For some reason, they have buffed the Phlogistinator. Yes, you heard me correctly. There is 2 buffs to the Phlogistinator. They've removed the damage penalty, so now it does the same damage as stock. And when you activate the oomph, the Taunting Pyro gains temporary invulnerability and immunity to knockback effects. So not only do you get full health, not only do you get a few seconds of crits, you can now also not be knocked back whilst you're thing. Do you play your own game? A couple of awesome things that they're doing to Medic. You get Uber Charge from doing the taunt with the amputator, I don't know, which heals people close to you. And you also get Uber Charge from the crossbow when you heal someone with the crossbow. This is something that I've personally been asking in my head for a long time. It makes so much sense to give you Uber Charge for healing with the crossbow. So many times when I've been playing Medic, I've thought, should I heal this guy now with my crossbow, which I can get an easy shot on him, or should I try and build Uber Charge, but risk him dying because he's far away from me? So you shouldn't have to have that internal monologue. So I think this is good. And oh my god, they have rebuffed or slightly unnerfed the Dead Ringer. Damage resistance has gone from 50%, which it was recently nerfed to during the gunmetal update, up to 75%. So that's just the first hit, which makes so much sense because basically if you were anything other than full health, you could die to a rocket or a pill. But yeah, this is desperately needed. I don't know if 75% is even enough in my opinion, but we'll try it out. I don't want to judge it too quickly. There's a ton of changes to Demo Night. You can read them all again, link will be in the description. But the one that really sticks out to me, Charge and Targed, removed fire immunity. Why the hell did you ever even add it? And the final major changes, in my opinion, here are for the Engineer. There's a few ones here. Sentries brought into the respawn room no longer blow up. I think this is a pretty good idea. To be honest, I don't think they should have ever blown up anyway. So I don't know on maps where there's like multiple spawn rooms. So say Badwater in your defense and it's on the last point. You can either spawn underground or you can spawn on that top floor. I don't know if you go into that top spawn room, change your cosmetics, potentially spawn in the lower spawn room whether you've still got your sentry. That would be really interesting, and this is the sort of thing that you normally see people on YouTube turning into exploits, so be interesting to see what comes of this one. But a cool one here, at least from my perspective as a spy, the Jag added damage penalty against buildings. It takes 3 hits to destroy a sapper. That's a big deal, because the Jag is essentially a straight upgrade right now, so this is going to make a lot of engineers really reconsider using the Jag. And there's also a blanket update here. After removing a sapper, there's now a half-second delay before the sentry is active again. That's going to give spies a lot more chance to sap and stab an engineer's nest without the risk of being killed by the sentry. That's what the update's looking like so far. They haven't told us when it's going to drop. I'm imagining tomorrow, or certainly before Christmas. I really urge you to go read the list itself. I've only touched on the ones which I felt were the most major, but I'm sure, you know, different people will think different things are bigger than others. Let me know what your favorite skin is. Mine is definitely all the cat ones. I just want them all right now. But yeah, let me know what you're most excited for in this. If you're new around here, there's a subscribe on the screen. I don't know where the overlay is going to be, so it could be over here. And of course, there'll be some other videos that I've done. Check those out as well. Thanks everyone, and goodbye.